So I guess we are live.
We are live. Welcome those who are here. Oh, I see some people on the chat there. Great. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. We're here. We're going to be talking about using videos in asynchronous ways. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm Brad Cogno. I'm a digital integration specialist at Jefferson Middle School. I was a science teacher before that and a technology teacher, taught outdoor education and after-school director out in Philadelphia for a few years as well. And I'll be doing a piece of this. And next up, Mel.
So hi, I'm Melanie Meyer, and I am currently a DIS at Tarkington and Hay. I was a former PE teacher and worked in Title I for 5 years in South Bend Community Schools. I just thought I'd throw a little tidbit about myself. I'm really excited. Come October, I know that we may be back face-to-face with our kids, which is exciting, but I have a second grandchild being born, and my daughter's getting married all within a week. So it should be quite an exciting month for me. So
congratulations. That would be great.
Yeah.
All right, so for the agenda today, and we'll get through as much of this as we can. We're not going to rush through it to try to get everything done, but we'll get to what we can. First, we're going to talk a little bit about designing asynchronous learning. What is it, and what would it look like? And then we're going to go into inserting videos using Google Slide to change the stop and start time and those kind of things. So we'll look at that and give you some time to practice that a little bit. And then we'll look at the playback settings, which is kind of editing those videos so you can get it to start and stop when you want it to. If we have time, we'll get into making some creating playlist in YouTube. And there is a video that'll be linked to this presentation that you can look at if we don't get to it today. And then finally, we'll just make sure you know how to link videos and other things to actual text in your documents as well. And like I said, we'll get through as much as we can. But first up, Mel.
All right. So asynchronous learning. So we've been talking a lot about what online learning, virtual learning, and so synchronous learning, asynchronous learning. And so what asynchronous learning is, it's basically the opposite of you teaching in your classroom. So it occurs when the student is learning the same thing, but from a different time and in a different place. So right now our students are learning from home, and many of them are learning through different times in the day. So some are on at 9 o'clock, some of your students on are at midnight. So that is what asynchronous learning is. And we're going to talk about that today in depth. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you some tips for designing an asynchronous learning lesson. And so our focus today is really looking at the different types of video options that we have available, but there's still more that goes into just planning that lesson. So the first thing we want to do is we want to create a dynamic agenda. And what that looks like is we have to think about our classroom. We want to think about creating engaging learning experiences for our students. And so that's going to look much different than when we were standing in front of our class. So we have to think about ways to present content in a variety of ways through videos. And so our videos are going to become our engagement piece for our kids. As much as they love to listen to you, you're going to need a break, and the videos are going to be that engagement piece for them. So I want to show you an example of what an agenda may look like. Is it?
I guess I don't have access to that, Mel.
Guess what? So Mel's going to talk about it then, okay? So an example might be you may do an intro video message with the agenda for the day. And so, good morning, this is our schedule for the day. Next, then you may want to include a reading, which could be like from Newsella. You might want to do a video to give the kids some background knowledge. And this is where we talk about importing YouTube or maybe Mystery Doug. There's many videos out there for your content. The next thing you want to do on your agenda is you want to have a reflection or comprehension piece. And that's where we would talk about Flipgrid. And so I'm going to throw a bunch of things at you, but we will talk kind of at the end about where you can access a lot of these different features. And then, you might want to do a video of you providing the instruction. And so that's the asynchronous part. I mean, the kids are not live with you, but you may be in your classroom and you're demonstrating. I was just in school today and our teachers were looking at the calendar. And so they were talking about today is Monday, August 17th. And then they walked over and they did some of the alphabet. So those are things of you providing the lesson. And then the last thing, the critical piece, is that you need to provide time for your students to provide feedback. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about feedback as I move through this. So
sorry, I moved a little bit ahead there. I wasn't sure where we are, Mel. Sorry.
I know. So Brad can't see my screen. So yeah, so that's okay, Brad. So, but just know that, you know what, we're never going to perfectly replicate our classroom experience. But as you're creating your agenda, I want you to think about adding these elements that are going to help your students achieve the learning outcomes. And so that's really the main focus of that. So number 2, Brad.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So make it interactive. Okay. So even though our kids are working at home independently, we still want them to be interactive with us and with their other classmates. So you want to build in some think time, and you want the learners there to be able to reflect and jot down ideas. So that's where you're going to be pausing your videos, maybe, like I said, adding in a YouTube video, and then you can come back in and give them that time, to talk about it. And the last thing is provide several do nows. And so just like in the classroom, you would have do nows. And this is so we can ensure that learning is progressing. Because the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to put up a 30-minute YouTube video and then have kids answer the questions at the end. Because what we know is that kids, they tend to space out. So we want to have those little check-ins for those kids. So number 3, Brad.
There you go.
Okay. So pace your lesson. And you know what? This is just the why. And so pacing really helps with time management, which our kids really need. And we want to set timelines for completions of the lesson. So we don't want to just put a lesson out there and say, this is, you've got 3 weeks to do it. We want the kids to be able to know that this is going to take you 5 minutes. This activity should take you 10 minutes, and it's due by such and such a time. The other thing that it allows for is we talk about blended learning. So you may say, I want you to watch this video, and then at 9:30, we are having a Google Meet, and we're going to talk about it. So what you're doing is you're setting up synchronous, asynchronous learning for them. So, but the one thing to remember is during this time, with COVID and all, we need to understand that, we're putting a lot of academic requirements on our families and that, but we have to be able to provide for flexibility. So if you set a timeline or a schedule that gives parents guidelines too to follow, and it gives the kids a little bit of structure, so which I think is what they truly need at this time. So Brad, number 4.
There you go.
Thank you. Assign clear deliverables. And so what this is basically provide clear instructions with your expectations and your task. So when you are doing a Google slide, post instructions on the slides, or when you're talking, make sure that the kids have an understanding of your expectations. At the conclusion of your lesson, I'm not sure what that is. Oops. At the conclusion of your lesson, students should have to submit something to
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay.
There we go.
Okay. So, that expectation should be there so that you can assess for mastery or, if they're truly understanding the content. So Brad, next slide, please. So this leads us to the I do, we do, you do. And this is something I know that the district is really pushing, that, the I do obviously is you're going to be presenting a lesson to your class. That's why we're saying the asynchronous would probably be the great I do. We know that you are the best teacher, so it's very important in your videos to make sure that the kids see your face and to know that this is you. And then, you can incorporate your videos such as YouTube or Edpuzzle is another great one that you could put in. The we do, again, would be synchronous or asynchronous. But if you're going to do an I do, you might say, at 10 o'clock, I'm going to meet with a small group in a Google Meet, and then that would be the synchronous learning. That would be the we do. We're going to talk about our content. Asynchronous, they use a lot of times is teacher to student or student to student. There's nothing wrong with having your students chat with one another about content. Or you might just be having that dialogue with that student yourself. So that's the we do. And then, of course, the you do. As soon as we are done, you're going to, work on your assignments are in Google Classroom that we, would expect that you complete. So, yep, or Google Puzzle. So, but one thing I want to say too is when you're doing this, always consider like these questions when you're completing your lessons. And so you always have to remember, how will I provide feedback for my students? How will I make my lessons engaging? And the biggest thing is, how can you divide your lessons into bite-sized modules? And so one thing we have to be very aware of is that we cannot have cognitive overload with our kids. So keep things small. So just like we don't like to sit and watch an hour video, we want to interact. We have to be mindful of that when we're completing our lessons. So, and the last slide is provide midway feedback. Okay, so feedback is obviously the best practice of teaching and learning, but it's super, super important for virtual learning. I know, in the spring we had a lot of teachers that were, how do I know my kids are even doing the assignments? Are they doing the assignments? And so, like us, I always tell my teachers this, that when I was in college, if I didn't get a paper back, I started to feel like, what was the value of it? And so if we can provide that feedback, then that shows kids that we value their work. So what this looks like is create checkpoints to ensure that they're mastering the new content. So Kahoot is a great resource. Quizzes, I know a lot of you probably had experience with that, but those are great checkpoints. And then you want to have performance-based assignments. And so those could be like Flipgrid, a Google Meet, anything to talk through the content and check for understanding. So I will say that we do have, all of these different resources, you can go in and get Google badges on these. And so these are all available through our SBC website. So if you're wanting to learn more about Edpuzzle or Flipgrid or Kahoot or quizzes, these are all things that you can actually access through the website. So, and we hope you do so you can earn badges. So Brad, that is it. How are we doing with
we're about a quarter after. Questions. I don't know. I haven't looked at the questions. See if there's anything there. I can't see them very well in the way my screen's set up. So I don't know if Allison can see anything. If there's something on there, jump on there and let us know, Allison. Otherwise, we're going to keep rolling. All right. We'll come back. Yeah, go ahead. Yep,
so
go ahead.
The only real question so far has been, how do you pause a video and do check-ins? Katie Nykamp just then started to explain Edpuzzle. So yeah, if you have any other thoughts on that, Mel, that is the only question that has happened so far.
So actually, I'm going to go ahead and go to the video piece, and I'm going to show you how you can insert a video in Google Slides, and we can cut the videos and then make some space for them to give a reply. You can continue on with the same video and do that. So I think it'll kind of tie into this next piece, unless there's something you want to add there, Mel.
No, I was going to say, I knew you were going to touch upon it. So.
Okay, and there are some other ways as well, as Katie mentioned as well. So I'm going to go over how to insert videos in Google Slide. I think Google Slides is a great tool, and I just want to make sure everybody knows how to use it. So I'm going to go on a Google Slide here in just a second. I'm going to show you, demo it, and then I'm going to give you a slide deck that you can practice these skills as well to make sure everybody's really solid with these. So when you're in a Google Slide presentation, if you go into the insert menu at the top and then slide down to video, so you'll hit insert and then go down to the bottom and it will say video, and this is where you can put in a YouTube video. You can also put in, if you have videos in Google Drive as well, you can put those in there. But we're going to focus on YouTube. So let's say I'm on my slide deck and I find this elephant video and I can insert it through that means I just showed you. If you click on the video, don't click on the little circle because the video will play while you're putting this whole thing together, unless you want to watch the video. If you click on the outside of that circle, the video will turn blue. It'll have those blue squares that you can make it larger and smaller. And then when you click that, select that video without playing it, you'll get an option in your menu bar at the top. It'll say format options. And this is where you can control when the video starts and when it ends. So we're going to play around with that feature here in just a moment. So if I hit the video, select it, go to format options, then on the right-hand side of the screen, I'll get this toolbar on the right. It says format options, and you have an option of when the video starts. You can actually play the video over here in this little window, the view back window or view playback window, and you can play it. And then if wherever you want it to start, you can just hit current time and it will take it, or you can just type it in. Like I want to start at the 1 minute mark or 1:02 mark. And you can put in there when you want it to end. Like this is an 18-minute video, the one I'm showing here. I don't want 18 minutes and 22 seconds of video. That's way too long for anybody's attention, my attention. So you can control that in here. You can also, when you present a slide, you can make the video play automatically when it's in presentation mode by just clicking this box down below. But the main feature for this asynchronous learning, when you're taking these videos that you have and you want to cut them down to just the part you want, this could be a really nice tool that you could use with your students. So with that being said, what I'm going to drop in the chat is a link to this slideshow, and I'm going to put it here in the chat. So give me just a second. Allison might already beat me to it. I don't know. Okay, so this should be in the chat. And if you go to that, it'll force you to open up my slideshow. And the slideshow, I'm going to jump out of this for 1 second, will look like this. So hopefully that link got out there and people are clicking on it and so forth. But the first slide has a hand on it. Let me get out for a second. Has a hand on it where you can insert a video, and it tells you what to do. It says insert a video. Go to the format options, and then I want you to pick a video from YouTube, and I want you to make it start at the 10-second mark of the video, and I want you to end it at the 1 minute mark in the video, just to give us practice for editing a video. And then also just hit that video autoplay feature, and when you hit the present, it should the video should start automatically at the start time you put in, and it should end at the end time that you put. There's a slide 2 has another option where you can put in a video and maybe some text questions to your students, and then there's a third slide where there's just this girl who has a TV, holding a TV, and you could put the video actually over the screen of her TV, and you could have, like, again, this is saying, can you find a video that matches her emotions, and explain how it matches her emotion, those kind of things. Something like that. It might be for a little bit older group. And then on the fourth slide, there's not really anything to do. I just have some images that you can use to put your videos on top of. Just kind of fun, like TVs and phones and stuff, this for extra. So try out the link go there and try the insert video. So I'm going to demo here. So if you're having issues, watch my screen, the YouTube screen. If you already know how to do this, then just keep chugging along. So I'm going to go to insert image. I'm going to make a copy of this. Otherwise, I'm going to change everybody else's who's just making a copy of this. So I'm going to make a copy of this slideshow. All right, so here's my slideshow, maybe. Make a copy of the entire presentation. Okay. Then you're going to go to insert video. And the nice thing with these videos, you can make them as big or as small as you want to on the screen. So one of the things with these videos, you're trying to engage the student. So, put it in a nice scene, get a nice background picture, and then, put the video somewhere that's interesting to look at. Taking me just a second here. All right, so I'm going to go to insert. And I'm going to go down, slide down to video. And I think I clicked the wrong button. No, I did. Okay. And then YouTube, you can just type in, let's do one on lions. Type in lions. If you have a screencastify video, you can go to your drive and you can get one of those as well. But we're just going to focus on YouTube for simplicity. All right. So Detroit Lions, I could do that. I could do Lions versus Tigers. So I'm going to do Lions versus Tigers. And that's my video I want. Okay, great. And then when this video pops up, the nice thing, if you grab the blue bars or blue squares on the outside, you can make it bigger or smaller, resize it. And again, if you get this little X, the black X means that you can click on it and move it around the screen if your computer's not dragging. And then you can make it fit wherever you want it to fit, which is really nice. So this makes it look like it's showing up on this person's phone. And you see my video is highlighted right now. It's got the blue boxes around it. You'll notice at the top right here is this format options I was talking about, which is already open for me right now. And I can play the video to the right.
Lions and tigers are among the most ferocious animals.
And then let's say that's where I want it to start. I can hit current time at the bottom. And wherever I am in the video, watching it in the preview, that's where it will start. So I was 4 seconds in. And then let's say, I know I want to stop at the 1 minute mark because I watched this video before, and I'm going to slide it to the 1 minute mark or get pretty close. Okay. And then over here, it says end time, use current time. Well, I'm at the 1 minute mark in the viewer. So if I hit the current time, it's going to change this. Well, I guess 101. You can also manually put in the wherever you want the video to start and end. So this is great. So the video, when it plays, will not play the whole thing. It'll play from 4 seconds to 1 minute and then stop. I'm going to make it autoplay. So I'm going to hit this little button down below. And if I'm in presentation mode, which I'm going to go into in just a second, the video should start up. It'll start at the 4 second mark and stop at the 1 minute mark. So I'm going to go ahead and hit present. Let's see what happens. And here's my little video over here. And there it's starting to play automatically. I didn't click anything. And it should start at the 4 second mark, all things being equal and good. Or it'll just drag on forever. There you go. I think that was the 4 second mark right there. So play around with those features in the slide that I gave you. I'm going to give you another couple minutes or so to play around with slides 1, 2, and 3, inserting videos, playing with where you want it to start, where you want it to stop. One other nice feature as you're working on that, you can also, if you highlight the video and have it selected with the blue squares around it, you can also add a border to it. So you can go up to the top and there's this little pencil, it says border color. You can make it be a color. And the thing right next to it is how thick you want the border color to be. And let's make it really thick and red. So you can also do a little bit of playing around with the videos. I don't know if I would have chosen that for what I'm doing right here, but you get the idea. You can play around with that, and then you can always go back in and edit the time, like, oh, it's off a little bit. The nice thing with this, let's say you have a long video and you want to get different parts of it and break it up into smaller parts. I can actually copy this video. I'm just doing the, you can go up to edit and copy and paste, or you can duplicate as well. And I've got the same exact video, but this time I want to play the second part of it or another piece and then get some more feedback. I could put it on a different slide, but I can edit the second video and say this one's going to start at the 1 minute mark. And then let's say I'm going to go to the 2 minute mark because I know that's where is a good stopping point for my students. So instead of having this big long video that's really, that's going to be too much overwhelming and they're not going to be able to focus, you can break up the same video, have it start and stop at different times. And now the way I have it set right now, they're both going to start at the same time. I don't want to autoplay both of them because that will be really noisy. Every video you put on the screen, it'll actually play all those all at one time. So that's probably not anything that you want to happen. But here's my first video. It's playing. It's doing its thing here. And if I click on this one should start at the 1 minute mark, wherever I said had it set. So this is starting at the 1 minute mark. So you can see how you can break this video up. You can put it in smaller section, say, watch this video, answer a question, put another video that, in the art section there. So it's similar to doing something like Edpuzzle, where you can use this uploaded video there and break it up, asking questions that way as well. Here's a way that you can use Google Slides for that same similar effect.
I love this.
Okay.
You have 2 questions if you're ready for them.
Okay. Yep, ready.
Number 1, can you get past ads by using those format options? So if your video were to start with an ad.
Great question. I don't know the answer to that. I know that I have played. I know sometimes a little pop-up video or ad will show up while the video is playing, even in this mode. I don't know if it says after this video or after this ad, the video will start. I don't know if that's true or not. It's a great question. If anybody else knows that for sure, let me know. I don't know the answer to that one for sure.
And then the second question says, sometimes when I change the start and end times to what I want, it doesn't always save into my slide that way. Is there a trick so that always works?
I have had that happen from time to time, and I don't know. I don't know the solution to that off the top of my head right now. Sometimes I said it and I thought I said it right, and it came and it didn't stay, and I'm not sure about that. But that's a good question, and I have seen that before, and I don't know a perfect solution to that one. Good
and Brad,
question.
I think we can look at it maybe, and then we can post it in our Canvas too if we
Sure.
find the answer to that. So.
Absolutely. In the chat, if you want to just drop in, like, give me a yes, I was able to get some videos in there and play around with the start-stop time in there, or no, I didn't quite get there yet, I need some more help. Can you just drop that in the chat to let us know how you're doing with it? And if you have any other questions, and Allison will so graciously monitor that chat since I can't see it very well. Or if you have ideas about how you could use this in your own setting, or ways that you have used it in the past, that would be great to hear back from you as well. And I will say, just on the extras that I put here at the end, I just went to Unsplash or YouTube, and I just found some pictures of screens that I could put on there. And obviously there's nothing special about these necessarily, except they had a TV or a computer or something in it that you could put the video in. So play around with that. I also, at the bottom, if the video is not playing, if it's not in present mode, I got these GIF little things of static or whatever, the TV kind of thing that you can kind of put over the video to give it a little bit of action when nothing's really happening. If you're in presentation mode, the video always comes to the top. So if you put anything on top of your video, like a picture of a TV that has a cutout on it or something, the video itself it defaults to going to the very front of everything else on the screen. So you can't put this little display over the screen while it's playing or anything. It won't, it doesn't recognize that. YouTube always wants to be on the very top of anything else that's on the screen there. So if you're using something like Keynote, an Apple product, you can actually layer things on top of your videos, but you can't do that with slides, at least not at this point. All right. Anybody, any questions or anything we want to go over with this? I think this is a really nice feature and can be used in this asynchronous manner where you can chop up little videos, questions, and then kind of make it bite-sized that students can handle better. Okay, we're gonna keep moving on, and I'm gonna go back to my presentation here. Okay, 1:30. Okay, good. So I will, as you put stuff in the chat, we'll hear back for how things went and give us your ideas about how you could use this editing videos or how you've used it in your classroom. One of the things that we're going to talk a little bit about YouTube, because that's where there's lots of videos, lots of resources for you there. And I think knowing a few tricks to making playlists, it can be really helpful. So we're going to do one together here. There is a video in the presentation that you have that shows you how to make playlists. So if this is going too fast, there is some information there that you can go over at a later date. What I'd like you to try at this point is to go to YouTube in just a moment. And I'd like you to make a YouTube playlist of something. So for example, let's say that this is my video from YouTube that I want to save in my music playlist. And at the bottom of each video, and the bottom right underneath, there's a save button, and you'll see it right here on the screen. It has like three lines and a plus sign, and it says save. So if you click that button underneath a video, then this will pop up, and this is your playlist. So if you have made a playlist in the past, these are the ones I have. I have a Spanish playlist. I have a how to make YouTube playlist. And I have engaging with distance learning playlist. So I have some of those resources up on the screen. And if you've already made one, you can just click it, and you can actually put it in multiple ones if you'd like to. But let's say I just wanted to put it in the YouTube playlist one. Or if you have not made a playlist, you can hit this bottom button and say, okay, say the video you're watching is a music video and you just want to collect music videos. You can just click it and then type in my favorite music videos, something like that. And then you've created a playlist. We're going to practice this in just a moment. I'm going to show you how to do it live. That was on my slide deck. And then I'm going to give you some time to actually do one yourself. And if we have time, we're going to do a collaborative playlist where I'm going to send out a link to my playlist, and you can add videos to my playlist. So you could see how, if we get to that, you can see how you could work with other teachers and collecting videos and throwing them in playlists that you're working on together. And hopefully we'll have time to get to that, but I'm going to go to YouTube. And I'm going to show you how to make a playlist. And I would like you, if you already know how to do that, then go ahead and make one for your next lesson. If you're not sure how to do it, I'm going to show you right here. So here's my video. And once it loads, underneath, as I showed you before, will be, oop, okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. So underneath is the save button. So you hit save. And here is an instruction. This video is about how to teach during a class. Let's say it's a classroom management one. So I have a bunch of playlists that I've made. Oh, I have it. I have it in a playlist already. It's called Engagement with Distance Learning. But I could select another one too. We'll select it in classroom management. And then it would save to that playlist. I can make a new one. Here's my new playlist. I'm just going to put new playlist. That won't help me in the future. You can make them public, which is probably what you're going to do for most part. You can make them unlisted, so only people that you give a link to, or they're only for you and nobody else. There's no linking, or nobody else is going to see that playlist. So I'm going to make it public, so anybody can find my playlist. And you might say, like for me, I'm like, well, where is my playlist? Great, I made one, but what use is it to me? Because I don't know where it is. So what you can do is on the left-hand side at the top, these three lines, the menu box, there is, it will, if you, at the bottom here, if you do show more, it'll show all your playlists that you've made on the left-hand side, and you can click and go there. Or another way to get to it is library. And your library shows where you've been. Okay, there's all the videos I looked at recently, some watch later videos. Here's all my playlists right here. And they're all sorted, and I can click on them and play all of them. I can show more of them. Here's all my playlists. And I could go to those playlists. Here's my Spanish one. And then I only have one video in there right now. It's just this one video in that playlist. But that's where you can find them. What good is a playlist if you can't find them? But it's a little bit hidden there. So what I'd like you to do, if you haven't done that yet, go to YouTube, pick any video that you like, and hit the save button. Now, I will give you one warning, which is kind of not great. The one warning is that videos made specifically for children, they block the ability to make a playlist. So you may run into some issues like, why is the save button grayed out and I can't hit the button? I see it there and I'm clicking it. It's a safety feature that YouTube has put on for educational videos, and I don't know the details of why, but if you see that there's not a save button, it's just one of those videos you can't save, which kind of stinks for us as educators. Like, it'd be nice to put them all together. So you may run into that issue for some videos, but this is the save function here is how you get the playlists. So we're going to take like a minute or so, or I don't know if there's any questions or any comments about playlists.
I'm not seeing any yet, so.
Okay. So they're in stunned silence. That's what I'm going to say, that it's just, they're so in awe by it. Okay, perfect. All right. So, and there is a video in the presentation that you have that has a little video about how to make playlists as well. And so if you can always come back to that. Here's a fun one. I want to do this. I haven't done this before, so I'm excited about trying this out. So we're going to make a playlist all together, and I'm going to have you add to my playlist that I'm collaborating with you on. So here's how I'm going to tell you how I made the playlist, and then I'm going to share the link with you, and you're going to accept my offer of joining the collaborative playlist, and then you're going to find a video and add to it. And then you'll see at the end all the videos that we found together as a whole group. So I haven't done this, like I said, with a large group. So let's see if it works. So here's how I make this playlist. So I've got a playlist already, and my playlist that I want us to collaborate on, let's say it was a fishing playlist. I don't know why, but fishing. Okay, so here's my playlist. Here's some videos. Now, when you go to your playlist and you actually look at the list of your playlist, there is a secret. Google loves to hide stuff on YouTube. These three little dots in the middle of the screen down there, if you click that little those little things right there, there's an option to collaborate with this playlist that you made. So I hit that collaborate button, and it gives me a link that I can share with people, and I'm going to share that link with you in just a moment. But any video, any playlist that you make, you have an option to go to collaborate, and you can share it with somebody else, and they can also add videos as well. So and it's kind of this hidden feature that who would be able to find that? I don't know. So I have a list that I'm going to put in the chat in just a moment. But here's what's going to happen. After I share the collaborative playlist with you, this is what your screen is going to look like. We're going to do one on history. You're going to find videos on history, and you're going to hit the continue button on the right-hand side. That says, yes, I want to continue with collaborating with Mr. Cogdell on this. Oh, we can say Brad. I'm Brad. On this playlist. And then you can just hit the YouTube's icon at the top to take you back to where you can search for a video. So you're going to hit continue. Then you're going to hit YouTube on the top left there to go so you can search for videos. And then you're going to search for a video. And when you find the video that's a history video that you want, you can click the button. If you don't see the save button, you can go and you'll click save to playlist. But this time, because you've accepted my offer to join my collaborative playlist, one of the options is to History Collaborative Playlist by Bradley Cogdell. So you can click on and you can add this history video that you're going to find here in just a second. You can add it to our playlist, and everybody on this call who wants to participate will add to the playlist. So let's see if this works. So I'm going to drop this video in the chat. And I want you to go to this video or this link to the, let's see if we can get it on here. I gotta find, okay. I'm gonna drop this in the chat. Maybe. Oh, I'm on, okay. So in the chat should be this link that says bit.ly history collaborative playlist. Click on it, accept it, or go to collaborate or whatever that button, or continue, I think it said. And then you're going to go to YouTube, find a video, a history video, and you're going to hit the save or save to playlist, and you're going to choose my collaborative playlist, and we're going to see how many history videos that we're able to find together in this collaborative manner. So this might be a good way to work with other teachers when you're working on a unit, or working distantly with other people who are teaching the same subject as you, and you could, gather videos together for, if you're doing whatever metamorphosis or something, and you can have other people who are working on these units or standards together. So let me go to my playlist and see if anybody has taken me up on my offer to add videos to my playlist. Oh, wow. Okay. Yes. Good. Okay. Now you can see I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 history videos already that people have uploaded and shared with me. So we can start building playlists collaboratively with other teachers. And again, the downside to this is this little, a lot of the videos with younger kids, if it's specifically like a kid video that they designate, it won't be available to play to or save to a playlist. So it's kind of a raunchy deal in that way. But hey, we just deal with what we can, All right. Questions in the chat? Anything?
The only one I'm seeing is, what does add to queue mean? And yeah. Katie answered it, but if you also want to answer it.
Well, I want to know how she answered it so I can see.
Yeah, what if she's wrong?
I know. Well, no, what if I'm wrong? That's what I'm more worried about.
She said, pretty sure it means that the videos you have chosen to add to the queue will just consecutively play automatically for you.
I think that is true. I know that when I'm playing YouTube videos on my TV, when I screen, I use Screencastify, Google Chrome, and I shoot it to my screen. I can do a playlist of those in a queue, and it will play the first one, like Katie was saying, and then it will play the next one and the next one. And I don't know. So that's when I'm casting a video, but I mean, the queue should be how you're going to play them, but I'm not sure. Like if I was broadcasting it, it would play them in order. That's what I know. I don't know if there's probably an even better answer than that, but that's what I got. Okay, so we've got 19. Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
Sorry, one more that came in. Could you create a shared Google Doc and add the URL to share those kid-specific videos?
Could you say that again for me, please?
Could you create a shared Google Doc and add the URL to share those kid-specific videos? I'm wondering if he's
Yes,
asking.
yes, you
Okay.
could. Yeah, so instead of like if there's a video that you wanted to save in a playlist, but it's a kid video and it's not savable here, you could certainly save them in a Google Doc. You can copy and paste them. Actually, let's just go through that. So this is actually an interesting one. So if let's say you're on a video, this is a playlist and it says so in the URL at the top, but if I click on it, I can copy. I'm just using Command C. You can right click and copy paste, whatever's your method of copying. I can copy this link and I can put it in my Google Classroom, anywhere, Google Doc, Google Slide, anywhere where you can paste something. You can, let's just go ahead and do it. Let's put it in a Google Doc just for fun. And I've copied that link at the very top. And you can also hit the share button. It'll also get you to a place where you can copy stuff. But I just copied the link from the URL from the Omni box at the top. And then you can just paste it in there. And you could, like you said, you could share it with particular students that way as well. So I'm just Command V to paste it in this document is one way. Now, it's really sloppy. Like I hate seeing a URL like that. Like it gives you the, where to go to on it. But I usually like to type something like, here's this wonderful, if it wasn't dragging so much, here's this wonderful playlist, maybe, or playlist. Okay, come on. Sorry, my computer's really dragging. Playlist. And then in here, one of the things we want to talk about was copying and pasting URLs as well. So instead of pasting just the link there, which is a little boring, you can like actually just highlight the words. And I've already got it in my memory because I already copied it from the other side. It's still there. And if you highlight the words you want to be a link, you can go up to Insert, and then you can go down to Link. There is a shortcut there as well. And then you just paste the link in there. And instead of having the big, long, messy URL that's up there at the top, they're both going to take you to the exact same place. But this one, you can just have, here's this wonderful playlist, and then click it. It's still going to take you to the exact same link as the one above. It's just a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner look to it. One other things I will tell you in a Google Slideshow. So I've still got that one thing copied. I've still got the link, the video copied to that playlist. You can actually link to an object as well. So if I go down to this, I'm in a Google Slideshow. I want to click on this computer, and I'm going to go to Insert, a link, or you can do Command K. If you do this a lot, you'll go to Command K. But anyway, Insert link, and I'm going to paste that link to that playlist on this computer. So I'm going to present this. So when anybody clicks the computer, it's going to take you to the playlist. So now this is a live link, and you'll see it's a pointer right here. It's a black arrow, but when you get on top of the link, it turns to a hand, the Mickey Mouse hand. If I click this, it's going to take me right to that playlist. So you can link videos to objects in your slideshow. You can link them to words, all those kind of things. Again, ways of getting students to these videos. I like using the Google Slideshow method where you edit what part of the video they're watching, just because you can control a little bit more what they're seeing. And I think one last thing before we go, another thing that I'll show you on copying and pasting links is that, let's say I love this video right here and I want to use it in my asynchronous learning. I'm going to go down to share. Well, actually, let me play a little bit of the video, and then this will be the last one, and we'll open up for questions at the end or ideas. Come on, skip ads. Yes. I'm going to go to the middle part of the video and stop. And now I'm going to hit the share button. I stopped at the 9-minute and 29-second mark of this video. I'm going to hit, there's a share button at the bottom. Hit share. Here's a copy. I can copy this link right here. You can also, this button at the bottom of the screen says start at. If you click it, wherever you are in the video, that's where that link will take you exactly to that start point of the video. So instead of watching the whole thing, there are ways to do an end thing, but it's a little bit more complicated. But here, if you just click the start button, it'll start at 9 minutes and the 29-second mark. And you can also change that, just type in what you want. I want it the 22-second mark. Then when you copy this link, it actually, this link will take you exactly to that video and at the 9-minute, 29-second mark of the video. Again, getting them exactly the information in the section of the video that you want them to be in. I think that can be handy. Okay. So we're going to leave it there, I think. And then if there's any questions, comments, things that other people have done with videos or links.
I think too, Brad, that everyone should know that we did post this video. It's going to be in on the Canvas page. So they just have to click on the start button, right? Didn't we just put it in start?
My brain's a little mush right now, so I think that could be true, yeah. But I won't say when. I think that's right.
But the whole video.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Allison, any questions or any comments, anything anybody wants to?
I don't see any. Paul, this recording, it takes about 24 hours to come up on our YouTube channel. But then, like Mel said, you can also access it on the Canvas page, but it does take about 24 hours to process. Other than that, there are no questions. Everyone's just saying thank you and that you both are wonderful, which we already knew.
Oh. Well, thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right.
All right. If there's nothing else, I will end the broadcast.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay. Have a great day.